So yeah, we're looking at the scripted test, and here's where we want to do the where we are. This is the one we want to run in order to test that our changes make sense. No, in the decompiler and the printed REPL.
So
okay, cool. Yeah, it's actually compiling. So
for that, we will need to open the terminal SBT and run.
Yeah, let's do that. This will be a Dotty. And then SBT. All right, and I think we do a test, no?
I think you can do just test only and the package name and only. If you do test, it will run every. It's a bit too much.
Exactly, just test only, and
I know, but it's a test uppercase only in one word.
Okay, cool.
Uppercase only the O. Yes, and
cool.
Now, this is not the most usual way to run tests. There is another command that is much more useful in general for the development in the compiler, which is called test compilation. But I can go over those a bit later. Because it's a completely different set of tests. But it's more, let's say, compiler-centric. It takes a file and tries to compile it.
Okay, sorry for the noise. It's Colombian noise. Sorry. Where's the migration guide? I think it's API documentation, a contributing guide, and then we go into getting started. First step, verify. Yeah, this one. This is where we get to know where to run the test. Reproduction an issue, create a test for your fix. Kind of makes sense.
Yep.
And then running all tests, SBT, bootstrap, run all of those tests. No, we don't want that compilation test. So process should not complete run, naming and running.
That's the usual. And usually when we run, we use test compilation. There is a reference above, I saw it, but it's just on the screen. No, just on the top. No, I mean in the first line of text. First line of text.
This one.
Yes, that one.
Just that one.
Yeah.
But it will match.
And it has a filter to run only the ones that but it only runs the test files that are in the test folder, and it will apply that that filter that you added.
All right, makes sense.
It's just a bit faster than running all the tests. All the tests will run the REPL test, the other tests, and a bunch of other things that usually you don't need if you want to try only one test case.
Okay, cool. So let me run the test either way. So it would be
the REPL tests are special and they have their own. So one thing that I wanted to tell you is that I think in test resources in that same sub project, you have somewhere after
test resources.
Resources there. There you have the REPL, and that contains the actual REPL tests that the other file will fetch and run. So you can open one.
So these Scala or this
the other ones. So these have a special format. So you basically, in one line, you state what you want to write in the REPL. So here we say in the REPL, we're going to write Scala, the val, and then it should output the second line. And then we want to input something else, and it should output the next line. There are some cases where this doesn't properly work, but it's a few edge cases where formatting just is a bit annoying. But it also tells you when you run it and something goes wrong, it tells you what you should write.
Okay, makes sense.
Double checking makes sense.
So let's say I want to run because I already know I'm going to be on this ballpark of the ReplPrinter. No, not ReplPrinter. I'm going to be in the DecompilerPrinter and the ReplPrinter, which I just extended this one. So I want to test this specific file and the scope of my work that touches this file. So how would I run that in the terminal? Something that I can replicate.
If you want to run the terminal directly, you can.
Or how do you suggest? What would be the best workflow? Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
One thing, you can run SBT and then run the REPL command, which will open a REPL which has all the changes that you did. And you can just play with it. The problem is you have to close it again and reopen it each time you want to try something new, which might take a bit more time if you want to paste a lot of code in it. So it might be faster to just paste the code in one of those tests and then run the tests. But to do a first try, it's a good idea.
Right, you're right. I'm just gonna double check how.
Just that, if you have a bunch of tests that you want to do each time, it might just start taking more time doing it manually.
Yeah, I think I'm just concerned right now with the first one, but I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna look at this because this is already documentation, and honestly, I haven't read it, so I'm gonna read this first before asking.
So the text compilation, Scala 3 Bootstrap test only is something that is only useful for macros. Because we run, the compiler compiles itself and the library.
Yeah.
The previous version of the compiler, the previous released version. But then to make sure that the compiler that we just created is correct, we also recompile the compiler with this new compiler, and we recompile the standard library with this new compiler. And then that's what we call the Bootstrap. The
Bootstrap REPL. Yeah. That's what is the Bootstrap.
And the tests on macros usually always run only on the Bootstrap compiler because there are some edge cases that might make it fail on the other if we run it on the non-Bootstrap. Though it's probably not going to happen. But they're filtered for the normal tests, so you cannot, if you try to run the macro test, you will not find them in the other one. And there is the same for the REPL. I don't know if you saw that there is in the scripted tests, there is in the scripted tests there is then actually there is a Bootstrap scripted test or something like that. Somewhere.
Let me see if I can see it.
Or a slightly different file, but I would expect it to be there in the same place. That's weird. There is one that is supposed to run the REPL Bootstrap tests that we saw next to the REPL test in the test resources.
Let me see, shadowing test and test phase management scripted.
Strange.
REPL. Here we have some REPL tests here. Maybe a shadowing test.
But it's weird. I thought there were.
There's another scripting test, scripting testing, something like this.
Yeah, okay. I don't know where they are right now, but
no worries.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, this is introductory, so for sure, I don't expect to get something like super concrete out of this one. But yeah, like in the pull request, that's where I expect to get more feedback. Like, I think I would just I immediately open a pull request with what we have, and then start a conversation there.
Yeah. So the first hint here, I see that we have the in the DecompilerPrinter. I see that we do block to text in the DecompilerPrinter file. Yeah, exactly. Those things, I'm not really sure if the REPL ever prints one of those. It would be interesting to find if there is a way to make the REPL print something that has a block of code, but I'm not sure, or a while. But I don't think it will ever just write the while, but maybe it does in some situation. Or I haven't used the REPL in a while, so maybe they improved it to just print back the while loop and the other things. And this seems to be, oh yes, the Scala 3 removed the do while loops.
Mm.
because they can be encoded with a normal while loop, and almost nobody uses do while loops, yeah,
In Scala,
except
yeah.
for some few cases. So yeah, if you want them, you can still encode it with a normal while loop. It's a bit ugly, but you can. And then the do is only used for other things. So that's why I guess we're doing that here. Though, wait, yeah. So it's something that, yeah, I think it's deprecated, but it's still supported. I guess it's basically re-encoding it in the normal. It's taking the encoded version and just adding the do while.
Adding the do while in the encoded version.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of printing the version that has, basically the other version has everything in the condition, including the body, which is a bit weird. And then has an empty body. The other things here, I have no idea why we're filtering them. So for some reason, we didn't want to print the modules. So I'm not sure if that's still relevant. And the packages, I'm not really I'm not sure if you can define packages in the same. Yeah, we should. What would be printed by defining a package in a REPL? So maybe those are things that don't make sense in the REPL and we can just throw away. But there must be a reason why they extended this at the time. So maybe one of those things actually is useful. Yeah, there will, I don't know. Yeah, so here I guess the real work will be try to see what is actually useful from that code for the REPL, and create tests for them so that the next one can just run the test if they delete the code and see what it was for.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Actually, one thing that you could do is comment out the code, one of those things, and run the test and see if something fails. Maybe it tells you where it's used.
You mean this one? Yeah, of course. I see
one of those and see if there is already a test that actually did that. It's a good to start.
Perfect.
Maybe closures are used in the REPL. That might be.
Which one? You said closure?
Yeah, the last case, the one before the preview in the text block to text. Yeah. The third case seems to be doing something with closures, so I'm guessing writing them in normal lambda notation instead of something else. Instead of probably printing the def and then something else more internal.
Yeah, just like the okay, I have to play with this. But yeah, it makes sense what I'm seeing. I think So yeah, I see. It's more. Why don't we run that specific case? Why don't we run a case where I comment a method and we run the test and see if my computer agrees and doesn't break? So let's do this one. Let's say we just commented. All right. So, and because that will be the flow I will do now. And so now let's run the test. So let's see if so this is the REPL. And this is where I will be playing to see if I'm gonna, okay, makes sense. So first of all, I'm just gonna exit this. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Awesome. No, I have to build an SBT server, and then from there, I need to just run my tests.
Yeah, no, this is the scripted test only. What was it? To Dotty.tools.REPL.scripted tests.
Yeah, this one
before. Yeah.
And how maybe that's where I didn't get it. How do I run, like, if I'm understanding right, maybe just to consolidate the information I'm grabbing, it's when running, like, what is the procedure when running tests, like, from a newbie perspective, like, how are they distributed, and for this specific case, which one should I consider the most important for making sure, just like, just to understand better the context of the test.
Yeah, not sure what's the usually most of the tests go into the test folder and are run with the test compilation.
This folder and run with the test compilation.
Tests uppercase and lower in the top. It's not in a project, in a sub-project. It's top level.
Like here, this one, test, target, test, test.
Yeah, exactly, that one. And that one has a bunch of different folders which run different configurations of tests. So there are the three main ones which are run, pause, and neg. Pause will just try to compile the code that is in there, and it should succeed compilation. Run will compile the code and then run the main method that is in there. It's on the object named tests by default, and we have to use that main entry point. It doesn't support another one, but it's basically to check that the generated.
I think I'm hearing you wrong. Can you hear me well? No, it's both ways. Can you hear me well? I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, no, it was my microphone that stopped working. I don't know. Okay, but good. I could hear you well all the time.
Awesome. Okay, so you were saying I lost you in the part after you showed me this, and then you were showing me something, and then I lost you. But so, yeah, you were showing.
So there are three kinds of tests, main kinds of tests, which are neg, run, and pause. So pause contains tests that need to be compiled and should succeed compilation. Run contains tests that need to compile and then run. So we basically have a main entry point, which is in the object test usually. And then we have the neg tests, which are supposed to fail.
Okay, negative test. Okay, and they're described in this type of files.
So yeah, usually there is a folder if there are more than one file. If not, it's just a Scala file. If you go down, most neg tests and pause tests will be only one file. If you have macros, most of them will have two files because you have the macro definition and the other and the use site. So neg tests have annotations inside. If you open one, maybe.
Yes, please.
That say basically it's a comment that says error and it states that in this line you should have an error. No, not the check files. The other one, the Scala file. Yeah, first. So basically, those are the most important ones that are added everywhere. It says / error that says, oh, in this line there should be an error. If there isn't, the test fails. And then there is an optional check file, which is not used that often because it's a bit annoying, which checks that the exact error message. The thing is, it's a bit annoying because if we slightly refine the error messages, then we have to change a bunch of test files. There is a command to do it automatically, but it's still a bit annoying when you're trying to change something or fix something, and then you see a bunch of failing tests, and you're not
and
just one by one to check if it's a true failing test or it's just something that changed in the error message.
I see your point. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
so definitely. We usually put it whenever there is something that really needed to. It was emitting the wrong error before, and we want to make sure that it's the correct one that is emitted now.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I see. And I see your point. Yeah.
If there was some problems with their error message formatting as well, yeah, then we would. But most tests don't have the check file for their so those are the most usual test cases
that we have. Okay, so for this specific one, let's say that we're going to run for this file and just see one if we can comment this out and what does it break. So yeah, now to run it, now we need to find.
That one is a REPL test. We need to run the scripted tests and see what happens.
Okay, cool. How do I do that? Can you handhold me a little bit?
It was with in the REPL under SVT. We want to run the scripted test, which is test only, and then it's the package Dotty tools REPL, and the test and the scripted tests class.
Let me see. Yeah. I'm typing in the terminal, and you were saying package.
Yeah, Dotty. I meant it's the Dotty package.
Should I copy and paste like a specific? Could you pass me the text into Slack, please? So that way, yeah, maybe I'm just not catching exactly what it is.
Let me
awesome.
just write it down. There.
Awesome. Thank you. Cool. All right. All right. It should run.
Yeah.
A bit.
And my computer should live through the process. Yeah, I don't know what happened afterwards. It's just that, yeah, maybe having Zoom and testing, it took all the
Let's see.
Yeah, it passed. I don't know what to read about that.
It means that we basically don't have a test that tests this functionality. The question is, we actually can. Is this something that can happen in the REPL? So there I would just try to open the REPL and try to see what this could have created that could be written back by the REPL. So we know that there is a do-while loop, so I would just try to write a do-while loop in the REPL and see what happens.
Let's do that. I haven't written a do-while loop, so I'm literally gonna look at the Scala documentation to do that.
Yeah, last time I wrote one was how to create a test that checks that we don't support it.
Do statement not condition. Okay, so we do a do, and here's the statement. Oh, sorry, do. How do I?
Do it in one line.
Yeah.
It might, because the multi-line support is done depending on what you wrote before, and it might not be supported for do while. I guess you should do while false. I hope that doesn't just get optimized away.
Let's do something. Oh, I'm gonna do a semicolon here, just because I think I need to add a variable, just in case, just not to break the loop. Can I do like a I plus? Oh my God, I haven't done this in a while.
But
how to do imperative code? There you go. Yeah.
No, you don't. Oh yeah, you want to.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm gonna kill the compiler. I'm just gonna kill the. It's just gonna run eternally. So
yeah, that's why I said put as a condition false.
Just the condition. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's one way. Easy to.
I don't need to.
I'm not sure if it will work. You also added on it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Put the condition at false to see if that works. One possibility is that it will optimize it to not do anything.
So it says do what? It didn't like the beginning of the sentence. Why it didn't like the beginning of the sentence?
Huh.
Do.
Yeah, it might be
Let's
already
see.
deprecated, fully deprecated.
Can I
So
do
I
something
think,
like
yeah, I think that's actually a good thing. That means that the feature is not supported anymore. So there's no
didn't
reason
we?
to create the dejuggering for it.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. That's even better. I just have
Yeah,
to
so the
take that
second
off.
thing there were functions or closures. So that's easy to write in the REPL. Just an anonymous function that returns whatever and see what happens with that.
So an anonymous function would be something like var test. And how do I write an anonymous function?
Parentheses, I would create a parentheses arrow, not even do the val.
Okay, just
just
like units, something like this.
Yes.
I like this.
Let's try that one. Aha. Okay.
2 months.
What happens if we re-enable the
I'll give you
code?
Yeah, let's do that.
detailed information of the history of how we did things, and I don't know much about the new how things are being done on March.
So do I need to reload the repo?
Yes. So Control D.
That and as well.
Has there been key bindings? I see. That's interesting. Why, like
In the courses.
okay,
And in fact, and so.
Okay, no, that's the same.
Course launching, course.
it doesn't seem like it's doing something.
Yeah, I didn't think that one would do something. So
Effort from all of the rows.
this was meant to print a full file and everything that was inside. But in the REPL, we don't print really the contents of the code. We print usually the definition.
Yeah, and the class name or like the
exactly.
or the hash code or something like that. Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so good. One part not needed. That's a
great progress. Should we do this with this one as well?
I don't know which one to continue with. I don't know, choose one that looks interesting. So the package, I'm not sure what. Yeah, we should try to write a package, I guess, inside of the REPL, but I'm not sure. I never tried that.
Well, why don't we try it like here without commenting just to see how it looks? So I don't need to reload the repo, and for this,
yeah, you can use the current one. That's.
I'm just trying to see how to get here. What should I write in the REPL?
Okay, I would write a package, then some name, probably with lowercase, and then open curly braces and write one class definition with no body, I guess.
Okay. You said package with
lowercase name.
And I just enter. Or no, you
braces, and let's create a definition inside just for good measure. I would create a class which is simpler from the perspective of dejuggering. Class F or class A. We don't. Yeah, and that's.
And enter.
Okay, so we're not even allowed to write packages. Great.
That's even better.
Yeah.
All right. So let's comment this and
I guess that stating those two things, that we cannot write do while loops and we cannot print the
package,
the closures, closures as code, makes this code irrelevant for the REPL and the packages as well. So that's why we can just remove it.
I can see, yes.
That could also be added to the issue before we have a PR, because that's really useful information for.
I can add that for sure. I'm not sure.
I guess you will just create the PR because it's it's going to go to that. Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
What does this one do?
Templated text. It has a type definition and a template. So
the template is either for a class definition or a trait definition.
A class definition or a trace definition, a template. Okay.
Yes, or or the definitions inside of an object as well.
So
I'm guessing whenever, yeah. And what's this thing trying to print?
So maybe we need tree mod is a module. Tree mods, tree symbol. And I'm gonna take this. And so it has
Yeah, let's try to print a class, I guess, with some definition inside, because from here, what I see is that it basically is printing the declaration of that class, and then it prints the name, I guess, of that class. In declaration, in the sense, is it a trait, a class, or an object?
Yeah.
I guess these with the modifiers or private, final, or whatever. Then the name of the class with type text, and then it prints the definition of that class. But I'm not sure if that happens in the REPL. So yeah, we're not using that.
So maybe I should comment it just to see if the REPL invokes this.
Well,
or not? Wouldn't.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yes, if you want. I was wondering the other way to be a bit more brutal on it is to replace it by triple question mark and run all the tests and see if it crashes. Because maybe it calls it but then ignores it or does something weird.
You say replace the template tree for ICU prompt.
For triple question mark or whatever, something that breaks at runtime, so we know it was called and then this and then yeah, I don't know what was done with the value maybe, but at least we would see a stack trace of where
exactly it will break even if it calls it. Okay, so that will be I'm just gonna.
But then yeah, we need to run the test only scripted tests. Can't you put the arrow up to see the previous commands?
Yeah.
Yes.
I almost missed that. Just 1 second. Thanks. Oh, great that this is recorded. Because yeah, there's so many details, and then you look back and like, yeah, cool. Test only.
Yeah, of course. But if you have questions afterwards, I can just quickly answer more specific things that you missed.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, all right, let's running the scripting test. Let's see what it shows. It passed.
Okay, so it's never used anywhere.
It's never used, so even yeah, you were right.
The REPL.
Exactly, and not even in the REPL or in the test were invoked.
Okay, in the test that were invoked, we could try to figure out if something else in the REPL does it, but it feels unlikely.
Yeah.
Because what you wrote with the class definition is what should have printed used this. But it seems to just ignore it, so I would just remove it.
Yeah, I see.
And I guess if you write a class and then it prints back the whole definition of the class, it would be just annoying because
yeah.
Oh, this is what you wrote.
Exactly, and besides, in the REPL, you just define it, and then you know through the hash code that it was you have a class in the Scala ecosystem, so you wouldn't need to know exactly what you type back. Too much information. So it says text to template.
Next one will be exactly the same because it's all part of printing the template. It's printing the extends clause and something else, and it's I think ignoring some stuff or.
I know, and it's being called here, actually. I think it's because it's being called here. So this one consumes this, this function was consumed by this function. Otherwise, yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody else was using it.
I would also remove it. It feels like it's not useful.
It feels like,
okay.
That's fine. Then let's go in.
We actually don't have anything useful in the Scala, but I don't know why they use it.
Well, I can investigate further. I mean, this is
Yeah,
obviously
but
the first.
maybe let's if you can figure out when they started extending it, maybe there is a comment, but it might also be that we already refactored things in the meantime, though those drop annotation mods maybe. I'm not sure, but that could be a yeah. So this one, what does it do?
Well, let's see. It says
This should not be.
Apply.
Wait.
Type apply text.
So yeah, this is metaprogramming related.
Exactly.
So this is what happens. This is basically trying to print what is encoded from a quote in the code.
In especially
But
a
this is not
single quote.
something that you should be able to write like just like that in the REPL.
I see your point.
And I'm
because
trying to figure out how to fake it.
Yeah, especially because metaprogramming doesn't necessarily does this thing in the REPL. It's more like in compile time.
Yeah, the problem is not really that. It's compile time. The problem is you cannot really instantiate a quote within the REPL directly.
So you see, yeah, I see your point.
So there is one way that could work.
Like an escape quote.
Let's just try to write a quote and see what the compiler returns or prints. My guess is that it will just state that there is a missing quotes instance, implicit instance. Let's do quote curly braces and actually nothing more, just curly braces.
Just like this.
It's just quoting the unit.
Okay.
That's the simplest one. Okay. I guess faking it would crash, but we could try that just to see if we can fake it enough time for the REPL to print something. Maybe we can try to write given quotes, given Scala quoted quotes.
Like this?
No, I mean given and now Scala dot quoted dot quotes.
Okay. Sorry. I get you.
I'm just going to fake one instance of that thing to see, but I think it will end up with a you wrote
and then
instead of quotes, and that should be equal to who knows.
Exactly, and then we do this.
Yes, but we should also give a value to what we're. So I would just equal null or something nasty.
Like this?
No. I just let me write it in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you. Quoted. I started from my. I didn't write the right stuff. Quoted quotes. There you go.
Yeah.
And then something like a value here. You're saying. Like
yeah. What I meant was this.
Okay.
I think it will crash too early.
Well, let's give it a try.
Yeah, because if it works, right? It's a quick way to try it. Okay, no, yeah.
New pointer exception, yeah.
So the other is there is a way to generate quotes at runtime using staging. Try to import staging. No, quoted staging import. So like this. I'm not sure if that's included in the dependency of the REPL. If it is, maybe you have a way to. No,
it's not part of the dependency.
Let's try, go out of the REPL and let's try one last thing. If not, I think this is not really that important, but I can have a look later for that one because it will not be easy if we don't have. Oh, yeah. Let's try one thing. So
Yeah.
out of the REPL, no.
No, I'm missing the REPL.
And let's try to run the REPL in Bootstrap mode because maybe we added the correct dependencies there.
So that will be quitting this one.
Yes, quit that REPL.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just REPL, we're going to write Scala 3 dash bootstrap.
I think it's here. One second.
Yeah, it was there.
Scala
bootstrap somewhere. Yeah, the last
bootstrap
one.
Test.
That's not instead of test REPL. So it's Scala 3 bootstrap.
Ah, okay. Copy. Scala 3.
And let's try to import it again.
Let's import this one. Code and staging.
Now, okay, yeah.
I can note here that maybe this would require further testing.
Yes, and I know what we could. So the idea that I have is basically use this runtime staging to create an instance of the compiler.
Mm-hmm.
And that one has a method run. And that run method gives you an instance of this thing. But you're not supposed to leak the quotes out of run. Yeah, you know what? Let's just remove it because any use case where you actually manage to create this, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I see.
I don't think it's necessary to pretty print something that is just wrong.
Wow. Okay. This is the type of pull tests that are cool.
Even try to print this.
And what about this one? DecompilerPrinter.
Yes. So the source file annotation is probably also not going to be. Yeah, it will not be here. Won't be needed here. So basically, every source that we compile has some top level classes and then some classes. And on each top level class, we add an annotation that contains the name of the source file, which is used for, I don't know, for remembering afterwards from which file this was compiled from. But this doesn't need to be printed, but this is not something that the REPL should have.
Yeah, I can see your point.
I'm not sure how you would even get to printing a class. We don't even print class definitions, so we don't get.
Yeah, we just did that. We exactly.
Yeah.
But so what do we do with the DecompilerPrinter? It's kind of like useless then.
Yeah.
So
more useless than I thought. I thought that we would actually be, maybe it was actually useful for the do while at the time. But now it's not useful anymore.
And I just want to see, because this extended the refine printer. So I'm just going to see. Cool. So the refine printer should extend part of this.
Yeah, the refine printer does some resugaring or some pretty fine. The plain printer has all the basic stuff for printing. But
and the DecompilerPrinter doesn't. It seems like it literally doesn't do anything. Like we could take it out.
Yeah, everything that was done there is now moved into the quotes logic and the reflect logic for printing trees. That's why we don't need it anymore. So we basically, whenever we want to print the whole file, we, instead of using this DecompilerPrinter, we just take the file in the reflection API and just show it. And it does basically what this thing was supposed to do at the time.
Awesome. So you know what? I'm gonna go the whole 9 yards and I'm just gonna delete it.
Yeah, I think it's basically deleted and and you're done. And basically just let's put a list of why we removed each one of those, because basically we cannot really print those things in a REPL. And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe someone has a way to print it. Maybe those that have worked a bit more with the REPL know some corner cases, and they might.
But yeah, we can put it in a pull request just if anybody wants to join that conversation.
Yeah, but I don't think there will be much to do with those cases that we saw.
That sounds wicked. So, well, and we're almost finished, no? It's supposed to be like an hour and a half. Until what time?
So we still have 20 minutes.
Nice. Okay, so I think I can just see yeah, get up. But I should be better. I didn't know. I didn't notice. There's a branching naming as well, like associated to the issue. I imagine. I wasn't.
Branch naming.
Yeah, like I'm trying to see the contribution guide, because normally there's like branch naming associated to an issue. How do you normally do that? Or just put request and say, hey, I'm fixing this issue.
So usually we don't care too much about the name of the branch because it's not in our repo. But what we care about is that the commit message, so not the title of the commit, includes fixes and the number of the issue, because GitHub takes that and automatically links to the issue.
Yes, I agree. So it would be something like yeah, commit, and that would be, I'm gonna put the.
Yeah, I would do it. Yeah.
How would you do it? Yeah, let me know.
Multi-line, but I'm not sure if you can do multi-line on with the -n. Because if you add it in the title of the commit, it doesn't take it for some reason.
Okay. So you do,
but they stopped at some point.
Okay. You would do something like this. No, this is
okay. Yes, exactly. And then fixes, then. Yeah, exactly. Don't put the double space. I'm not sure if it recognizes. Yeah, and that's usually recognized. And then usually we put the description of what we did or why we. I guess we can just put.
I'm gonna do just like and then I just rebase it and change the comment just in case, just to see if this works. Yeah. Yes. Push. Just see. Yeah, if I go here, there you go. I'm gonna pull request just to see. Then I can fix this here. And in the comments, just 1 second.
Wait, you have 2 commits? That sounds wrong.
Yeah.
I think you called test or.
No, it's just this one, test Dotty pull request. So I'm gonna fix this up because can I here? It's in the README. Because I already tested. Sometimes I just like to just double check that I have the flow. And 1 second. How can I normally don't use this.
Yeah, I would replace and squash those those commits.
Yeah, let's do this. And I'm gonna
squash the one below.
Exactly. Yeah, it's some kind of copy and paste this.
Wait, F? What's F?
It's
fix up. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it discards. I'm gonna actually discard and just here. And instead of test, now we have the whole. So now we have this. This is exactly how you wanted it, no?
No, actually, exactly. I would even put two spaces. And like, the tool is remove ReplPrinter class.
Actually, I'm gonna.
The name of the class, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. It would be
printer. Yeah.
DecompilerPrinter. Removes.
I would put as remove instead of removes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Feels
Like, yeah, no, I agree. Just removes decompiler printer. It is like this.
I would put it on the next line. Just I don't know. It's what I used to do. No,
Yeah.
the fixes.
The fixes are like this.
Yeah, I would keep a line in between. No, no, I mean fixes number in a second line.
Like this.
In the third line.
In the third line. Okay.
Between the title. And,
like this.
Yeah. Awesome. And then yeah, the descriptions of why we could drop all the code, I guess. But if you want above or below, it doesn't matter.
We tested REPL. No, we tested all methods in REPL. All methods in REPL. And they are not used. No, they are not even in both. They're in, we test all the methods in REPL and test.
None of them are used for the. I don't know.
No, yeah, none of them are used in the REPL, and all tests pass.
Yeah, if we want to be more specific, we can say yeah, do-whiles don't exist anymore. Packages cannot be written in the REPL.
And what was the other one? Do not exist.
And let me just.
Yeah, no exist anymore.
And we don't print content of classes.
And we go to nor content classes. Yeah, description. We tested all the methods in the REPL, and none of them are used, and all this passes. Yeah, not necessary to mention the REPL twice. So either. The REPL makes sense. And then we do it. I didn't change the 1 second. Yeah, that is changed.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the one that I added. Let's see. Sorry, let me just do this real fast.
Okay. I don't know if you know that there is a commit minus amend that can do that in one step.
Yeah, I never used it, but yeah, I would just because I wanted to just one single commit. I just added one. Let me just rebase again, and that's
yeah. But if you do commit amend, it would have changed the rebase.
I see your point. But
yeah, I do it a lot. So I created actually I did an alias for commit minus amend.
I should use that a lot more.
Yeah, it's really useful when you want to do a small change on the last commit that you have.
Okay, let's
less time.
Let's see. Yeah, it takes a lot less time. Okay, this is better. Main compare Dotty. Yeah.
Dotty main, yeah.
is used. Yeah, definitely. My language not being oral. There you go. Thank you, Graudy.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, pretty much this is what we did,
Yeah,
honestly.
great.
Yeah, I create request. Makes sense. Oh, that was productive. Even if it was removing a file.
Yeah,
I'll
just
send you the pull request just when you have it took away. You said you have signed
I
it.
already on it.
Cool, awesome.
Okay. I'm not sure if you already did that, but there is.
I signed the CLA already.
Okay, good.
Should I mention it?
No, no, you don't need to. There is a test in the test. There's one of the tests checks that you have signed the CLA.
Yeah, I did the light because I did the test yesterday and it said like the light pen, whatever, signed CLA, and I did that. I did that for you as well.
Yeah, you already passed the CLA test.
Nice. Yeah, the Scala CLA chapel. Nice.
Yeah, it's the only test that goes fast.
Yeah. This is really cool.